Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time. We are getting plenty of updates on the next upcoming MCU Spider-Man Tom Holland film. Of course, recently titled Spider-Man Brand New Day. Obviously, we know Sadie Sink has been cast. We know there's at least a casting call out there for middle-aged Asian man, most likely hinting at the fact we're going to be getting Mr. Negative as at least one of the villains, most likely the main villain of this movie. The other day, we heard about a few other villains that will make an appearance, which I made a video about, Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang. So, of course, go check out that video if you haven't already. But today we have a few other updates as well, which are very exciting. First of all, is just that they're ahead of schedule, apparently. So it was originally being said they weren't going to start filming until the fall of this year, which was slightly concerning considering the movie is supposed to release in July of 2026, next year. And that's not a whole lot of time, but Tom Holland's got a very busy schedule right now. I don't know if they've wrapped on Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, but he has a big role in that film, I believe, both he and Zendaya. So I'm not sure what the status on that is, but it's now being said that they're going to start production in July. So, I mean, May is almost over, so basically next month at this point. And that they're supposed to wrap by the fall. So that's very exciting. They are now more ahead of schedule than they thought they were going to be. It's still only, less than a year before the movie releases. So still will be on a bit of a time crunch. I'm glad I'm not the VFX workers on this because I feel bad for them. But we do have some other news relating to this film as well. So obviously, part of the deal with Sony and Marvel is that with each of these MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man films, there has to be some sort of MCU supporting guest appearance hero. In Homecoming, it was Iron Man. In Far From Home, it was Nick Fury and Maria Hill. And then in No Way Home, it was Doctor Strange. Now, for Spider-Man Brand New Day, even before we found out it was titled that, there were so many rumors back and forth about it's going to be Ant-Man, it's going to be Star-Lord, it's going to be Daredevil and the Punisher, it's going to be Ghost Rider, and it was really just all over the place. And, some of them, I didn't hate any of the ideas except the Ghost Rider one. That was just, didn't even sound like a Spider-Man movie anymore. But Daredevil and Punisher versus the Kingpin would have been awesome. Ant-Man, I don't really know how he would have fit in, but just his dynamic with Peter Parker, I think would be a lot of fun. Star-Lord, very similar case as well. But now today we're hearing a new report about who's going to be our guest hero in this film. And this one, especially since we're closer to production, I actually believe quite a bit more. And that is coming from Nexus Point News that Mark Ruffalo is set to return as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, of course, this is a scooper. So consider this a rumor for now, take it with a grain of salt, all that good stuff. But again, since we are so close to production, and it's not like they're just piggybacking off a bunch of other scoopers, and I feel like Nexus Point News we don't hear a whole lot from, but when we do, they are pretty accurate most of the time. So I do trust this information, and this does excite me quite a bit, because there's a lot of ways they could go about doing this. I mean, I'm concerned at the same time, just because of our status of the Hulk in the MCU. Because obviously we don't really have a Hulk. We have a Professor Hulk. This is honestly probably one of the biggest things they need to fix in the MCU right now is the Hulk. Because the Hulk, we've been talking a lot recently about, back in the day before Marvel sold all their rights, the core MCU characters. The Trinity was not Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor like it was in the MCU. It was Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Hulk. Not a team trinity, but the three most popular characters were those three. And then obviously things changed when the MCU got started. And so to see where we're at now with the Hulk, it's just really disappointing. Obviously, we're in a tough spot with how the deal is with Universal. We can't do a Hulk solo movie. And, I liked the idea of what they did with him in Avengers Endgame, with him becoming Professor Hulk. It made sense for his character arc, but now it's sort of just like, he hasn't done anything since. He's appeared a few times since. He appeared, of course, in the post-credit scene for Shang-Chi and in She-Hulk. But again, he hasn't really done anything because, like, the big struggle of his character is now gone. Like, there's not a whole lot you could do with him. So, at some point, they need to revert him back into the monster version of Hulk, which everybody wants. I mean, I like Professor Hulk, and probably the way they're going to do this, especially since I don't believe we're seeing him before this, he hasn't been announced for either the next Avengers movies, and now, since both of those have been delayed, we know Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out first. I could see Professor Hulk actually being one of Peter's professors at college. I would not at all be surprised if that was how they went about doing this. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm hoping. Again, we really don't know a whole lot about this, so it's not like I think that we're going to get that transformation back into the good old Hulk in this movie, as much as I wish that was the case, because, like, some of my favorite episodes of some Spider-Man cartoons, like Ultimate Spider-Man, is when he has crossovers with characters like the Hulk. The Hulk and Spider-Man is such a cool team up, but Professor Hulk, I don't know. Like, action scene wise, like, if it's just Professor Hulk, like, we're not getting anything. Like, it's not going to be as cool. But I can see him being like a Dr. Kirk Connors type character, and being, you know, a science side of, like, mentor rather than a superhero mentor, which I guess is cool. But again, man, I just really want back the old Hulk, like the good classic Hulk. Although, with Hulk being in this movie, some people have pointed out this panel from, I don't know what comic this is from, because this image is just floating around on Twitter right now, but dealing with Peter's identity crisis thing, now that the whole world has forgotten who Peter Parker is. We can just read this panel real quick here, where Hulk and Spider-Man are talking, and he says, "What are you doing, Peter?" And just giving you a hug, big man. Wait, did you just call me Peter? You made everyone forget who you are. Banner forgot, but I don't forget. And then they say some more stuff as well. I think this is a panel I've never seen before, but this is so fascinating. And I think if they could tie this in, that would be so cool. But again, I don't know how you can, because right now in the MCU, Banner and Hulk are the same identity. They're not separate like they were before, and like they are at this point in the comics. So, I don't know, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But either way, getting Mark Ruffalo back as Bruce Banner, the Hulk, Professor Hulk, whatever it's going to be, teaming up with Spider-Man, I think is going to be cool no matter how you do it. Again, just wish it was Monster Hulk, but we'll see. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.